Celtic fans, welcome to another edition of Classic Celtics, and this is going to be
Here we go, Celtics. Here we go.
And like I said,
here we go, Celtics. Here we go. It's like I'm riding the red line from Porter Square through Harvard Square, down across the river, get on the green line, go to North Station, which they have since named Red Auerbach Station, go upstairs into the temple of life, where the celebration of all good things take place, and to be here with the Celtic Nation celebrating the wonders of nature, the wonders of everything good. I am the luckiest guy in the world. Here we go, Celtics. Here we go. I'd be on those trains going to the games, and the fans just packed in. You couldn't even move, but the fans would be shaking the train, pounding on the roof, pounding on the walls. Here we go, Celtics. Here we go. I am ready to go.
Bill, Bill, this is going into Game 6. This is a title-clinching day. Was the train ride different that day?
No.
It was the same. So your life – so for 41 games, that's just your life? People, here we go, Celtics on Game 65?
Every game. It was amazing, the culture that Red Auerbach had built. Now, he had Jan Volk doing all the nuts and bolts and all the grittiness. He's got all the brilliant guys working in the family atmosphere of what the Celtics were. But ultimately, it comes back to Red Auerbach.
You know, you played 80 games this year. So of all those years of the injuries and missing games and all that stuff, what happened this year? What was it?
Oh, it was a completely different role. I was only playing a few minutes a game. My basic role was to tell Larry what the schedule was and to make sure that he knew what time the game started. Because while we had spectacular players on the team all throughout, Danny, DJ, Chief, who was the foundational pillar, and please bring me back to Chief here, but let's just get through the rest of them. And then we had Scotty Wedman, who often was the second best player in the world and could never get in the game. And then we had Rick Carlisle, Jerry Seasteen, Greg Kite, David Thirdkill, Sam Vincent. And while we had all those guys, what we really had, we had a coach who we loved, and then we had Larry and we had Kevin. And nobody else had anybody like those two guys. They were just so remarkable in everything, not only their play, but their personalities as well. And their personalities were so divergent, completely diametrically opposite personalities. But when you love your coach, and we had a brilliant coach in Casey Jones, and we would do anything for that guy. And the way that he treated us as men. He knew what it took to get the job done. Motivation was never a problem for our team.
Okay, so Bill, riding the subway or the train into North Station, Red Auerbach Station now, getting ready to play in Game 6. This is a title-clinching game for maybe one of the greatest teams to ever play. This is Celtics, Rockets, Game 6 of the NBA Finals.
So the lead up to the game, we had got pushed around in Game 5. Game 3, we should have had. Went right down to the final play. They made the play. We did not. Game 4, Larry made some spectacular plays. We got the advantage to go up 3-1. When you're up 3-1 and you have a great team, you know you're going to win. We got pushed around in Game 5. So Game 6, the normal frivolity, the normal joyous outburst, and the constant yakking and communication and trash talking led by Kevin and Danny. I mean, they were the young guys, real young guys, who were just constantly yapping all the time. But everybody was really quiet. The whole plane ride home, we could not land and get out of the regular terminals at Logan Airport because so many fans had stormed the airport welcoming us home. They had watched the game and they knew that we had been pushed around and they were coming to show their support. We had to be taken to a remote terminal and bust home and then we had practice the next day on Saturday at the Garden. It was a very quiet, very serious practice, very little teamwork, very little running. Physical fitness was never our problem. And so then we're just totally getting into it. And then they call us Saturday night before the championship game and they say, hey, there's no way that you guys are going to be able to drive to the Garden yourselves. So we had to meet over at Hellenic College, and we'll bus you in from there because the crowd was already assembling outside the Garden. And so we get into the game, and Larry's out doing his pregame warm-up, and we're all in the locker room stretching and working it out. And we just can't wait. It's the moment before the moment of truth, and what you live for in that locker room with the guys coming together with a collective sense of effort and purpose. And then Larry comes into the locker room, and he looks at us all, and he rarely said anything collectively to the team. But he looked at us all and gathered all our attention. He said, guys, I was just out there in the crowd. It's an hour and a half before game time, and the crowd is already in, and they're ready. And right now, they want the blood of the Houston Rockets. But I'm telling you right now that if we don't deliver today, they're going to want our blood. Now, let's get going. Who's coming with me? And then Larry went out and just played his self-proclaimed greatest game that he ever played. And it was spectacular because in a game of a lot of winners of the genetic lottery, I mean, you had Akeem, you had Ralph, who were just brilliant, just getting started in their careers. You had Kevin McHale, you had the Chief, and here was Larry. Larry got every rebound. Larry made every steal. He made every pass. He just literally did everything and made the rest of the world seem inconsequential. Larry Bird, the greatest player I ever played with by far. Our fans would not ever let us quit. What remarkable human beings in that Celtic nation. Here we go, Celtics. Here we go. And Casey Jones, who would just be up there so calm, so poised, who had been there so many times. And he just acted like, okay, we've done this before. We're going to get this job done. And the way he breathed life into us. And then Red would be sitting back. He would be there on the sideline, never really saying anything, but have a cigar, just taking a big giant drag, and then exhaling, and the green smoke that would come out with shamrocks and leprechauns. And it was just absolutely spectacular. And what a scene it was. And the pressure of, okay, we got 24 minutes. There's 24 minutes to history. And there was never any doubt in our locker room that wasn't going to get done. Because
any more words from Larry? You said Larry talked before game. Anything said at all?
No. Larry did not want halftime. Larry did not want timeouts. Larry did not want days off between the games. He wanted 7 straight days of basketball. And the first team to win 4, that's fine. He was not into waiting around. And he was certainly not into waiting around for any of his teammates. He was not waiting around for the coach, not waiting around for the television schedule. Larry, he was ready to play and ready to deliver. And did he ever?
Bill, was there talk of you guys being the greatest team ever? Did you guys ever have that conversation during the season, or even, like, say, the 5 days after you won the championship?
We had a great team, and we loved each other, and we loved the way we played. And we knew we could get the job done. And so we'll take our chances.
Yeah.
We'll take our chances anywhere, against anybody, anytime. Yeah. We had it all. We had size, strength, power, finesse, skill, discipline, talent. And at the end of the day, we had Red Auerbach, Casey Jones, Larry Bird, and Kevin McHale. And nobody else did.